The mission has been renewed, and the hope for a better Guyana lives on with the PPPC. Get ready for the victory at the PPPC Grand Final Rally on Saturday, August 30th at the Lusignan Market Square from 4 p.m. Be part of the Red Tsunami. Bring your flags, raise your voices, show your love for country, as together we march into victory and advance the transformational journey of inclusion, hope, and prosperity. Hear from your leaders, President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, General Secretary Dr. Barrett Jagnio, Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, alongside national and regional leaders. They will deliver the message of victory, hope, progress, and transformation. The PPPC remains the only truly multi-ethnic political party with a proven track record of achievement. Free university education, thousands of new jobs and business opportunities, affordable housing for families, improved healthcare and education, expanded agriculture and food security, world-class infrastructure. A brighter tomorrow for our youth. Up with the PPPC Grand Final Rally, Saturday, August 30th at the Lusignan Market Square from 4 p.m. Together, let's make history on September 1st at the general and regional elections. Vote PPPC, stronger together for a better Guyana.
Blaze up,
Country House Music.
blaze up, blaze up, blaze up, blaze up, blaze up, blaze up. Earth finally pass through. Take a seat, cause the seats them can't lose. You can't see the next party confused. Don't talk about one term, I want two. PPC are where the people them choose. If you not vote, the whole country gonna lose. If you want to know who are the president for true, Earth finally aim at the man for them true. Yeah, so vote up, vote up, vote up, vote, vote up, vote up, vote up, no, vote up. Vote up, vote up, vote, vote up, vote up, vote up, vote.
You see this one? This one is for all my Guyanese across the nation. Oh Lord. One Guyana. Hands up. We have them high. We have them high. To the sky, up, hands up. We have them high, we have them high. One Guyana. This one is for all the people name. Let we vote for the code. Say PPPC. This one is for all the people name. Put your X by the code. For President Ali. This one is for all the people name. This one is for all the people name. This one is for all the people name. Put your X by the code. One Guyana, oh Lord. The country I build up a true. PPPC are voting for you. No dog. Guyanese, you should do what me I do. No make them other parties trick you. No way. I eating rice with kalaloo. See there? With wind they go sanction you. For real. Bills to pay the bank now on you. Never. Another failure like Abnu. Notice. The coalition what happened to you. So much suffering Guyanese go through. Oh, Lord. You better know we are free thinker. We not care if you want car, we soup drinker. PPP, PPPC. Vote PPP, PPPC. Vote PPP, PPPC. We voting PPP, PPPC. So this one is for all the people name. Let we vote for the code. Say PPPC. This one is for all the people name. Put your X by the code. For President Ali. This one is for all the people name. Oh, this Lord. One is for all the people name. This one is for all the people name. Put your X by the code. One Guyana. Oh Lord. Scrape heads, let me educate you. Educate. Cause it seems like you don't have a clue. None at all. These operations we've been through. Oh Lord. All because of Abnu. No say. What you think sanction win I go do? You know see. What the leopard thing want trick you? No. Must go by we a Lambo too. Oh Lord. The purple ones match bandit too. Watch there. Guyanese people win a stupidity. We are progress and you can't stop we. See there. That's why we vote PPPC. September 1st, I watch out for PPP, PPPC, vote PPP, PPPC, PPP, PPPC, we vote in PPP, PPPC. So this one is for all the people name, let we vote for the code. Say PPPC, this one is for all the people name, put your X by the code. For President Ali, this one is for all the people name, this one is for all the people name, this one is for all the people name, put your X by the code. One Guyana, oh Lord. This is a paid sponsorship brought to you by the good people of the PPPC. That's PPPC, Civic. Let the progression continue.
It's election time again. And the only political party that have the Guyanese citizens at heart is the People's Progressive Party. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. Vote for progress, togetherness, prosperity. All we vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. Vote for progress, togetherness, prosperity. All we vote in. When PPP there in office, them just go straight to work. Roll back on taxes, easy burden, build back trust. House that for everybody, community rose bill, scholarship to open gate, training you to elevate. The farmers getting help, the Guyanese building wealth, the PPP working hard to build this nation strong. Job creation left and right, the PPP doing it right. Come election day, we vote in PPP again. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. Vote for progress, togetherness, prosperity. All we vote in. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. Vote for progress, togetherness, prosperity. All we vote in. I say cup, you say up. Cup, up. When I say cup, you say up. Cup, up. When I say cup, you say up. Cup, up. When I say cup, you say up. Cup, up. You know, say, leadership you can trust and progress you can see. Forward together for a better Guyana. Everybody go out and vote PPPC. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. Vote for progress, togetherness, prosperity. All we vote in. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. We vote in PPPC, them is the only choice for we. Vote for progress, togetherness, prosperity. All we vote in. And you don't know it's your boy Quincy Anderson on the microphone. Guyana, I'm out. Vote PPPC. Yeah, man.
Shaker HD Production.
Yeah, PPP civic. Yeah, PPP civic. Show them PPP ready. It's how these civic just do it. Show them how PPP sweet. Show them how PPP nice. Show them that this one guy enough for our hands up there and make some noise. Show them how PPP sweet. Show them how PPP nice. Show them that this one guy enough for our hands up there and make some noise. Party. PPPC is for everybody. So don't hot up your head. Don't worry yourself. This one guy enough for all. Welcome to the PPC capital. You see the red, you see the black, you see the yellow, and you don't know who is that. You see the red, you see the black, you see the yellow, and you don't know who is that. It's PPP civic, put your hands on PPP civic, let we jump. It's PPP civic, let we raise. PPP civic, one Guyana, let we shout it. Show them how PPP sweet. Show them how PPP nice. Show them that this one Guyana for our hands up there and make some noise. Show them how PPP sweet. Show them how PPP nice. Show them that this one Guyana for our hands up there and make some noise. Party. PPP one Guyana for all. Welcome to the PPC capital.
Shaker HD Production.
Yeah, PPP Civic. Yeah, PPP Civic. Show them PPP ready. It's how these civics do it. Show them how PPP sweet. Show them how PPP nice. Show them that this one guy enough for all. Hands up there and make some noise. Show them how PPP sweet. Show them how PPP nice. Show them that this one guy enough for all. Hands up there and make some noise. Party. BPPC is for everybody. So don't hot up your head. Don't worry yourself. This one guy enough for all. Welcome to the PPC capital. You see the red, you see the black, you see the yellow, and you don't know who is that. You see the red, you see the black, you see the yellow, and you don't know.
Wake up, the day is bright, and I feel the blue. Turn it down for you, while we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel.
News and what's hot today will keep you wide in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire. Wake up, the day is bright, time to feel the flow. Turn your dial to Livewire, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, from 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wide in every way. We'll keep you wired every way, in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up.
Good morning to you guys, and welcome to another episode of Livewire with yours truly. It's really great to be here with you this morning. Sorry about yesterday. We had a rebroadcast. For the persons who know, we moved the studio. So yesterday morning, it was a lot of wiring to be run, and so we ran a rebroadcast yesterday. But guess what? It's back to cricket today. A lot of things for us to discuss. And we're also expecting a guest host, Dario McKenna, should be joining us shortly. Nevertheless, let's get into it. Morning to the persons joining us across the 10 administrative regions. Morning to the persons joining us across the diaspora. Special good morning to the persons in the comment section. And an extra special good morning to that turnout there at the Eccles public meeting. Massive turnout at the meeting last night, and the overwhelming support for President Ali. It is not surprising. The gentleman has delivered. And he has blown past the expectations of, oh boy, 1 second. Right. And he has blown past the expectations of all Guyanese, those in support, those who are not in support, all the time. You understand? So again, we continue to see the massive support for President Ali and his second term. As most persons have been saying, one good term deserves another. We're going to touch on some education stuff this morning. I noticed a video circulating on social media. And I don't know, like the drunk people surfacing in the election period. One set of drunk people surfacing in the election period. But we're going to get to that. Nevertheless, let's hop into it. As I said, Dario will join us shortly. Now, I want to touch on something I saw. Hello? So we put up some acoustic foam. So the areas that don't have it as yet, you're hearing the echo coming from that direction. It's tripping out a little bit. Anyway, let's get into it. Now, it was yesterday, Critic went to court, or Monday? It was Monday, Critic went to court. Yesterday, we didn't have a show. I was supposed to touch on this yesterday. And he did a live on his being processed through the system. He had to pay bail, whatnot. And during his live, he is the wrong video I upload here. Just a second, folks. Just let me get the right video. Right, so this is the video here. So during his live, right, he was talking and panned across right here to this guy, Royston Drakes. You hear me? From Drake's Media Productions or Drake's Productions or something. He like the heavy tongue girl from the PNC. Right? This is a cameraman who promote himself to a report. He used to work for Capital News. And then when Capital News became defunct, he started his own thing. Right? Royston Drakes. Critic will later in this video say to you guys that he will show you a video where he got to collect a topper from Mohammedans. But when he realized Critic was recording, he turned and walked away. Right? Now, in this video here, you could hear Critic saying, these guys just come up with their own narratives, the stories, because they have their own agenda. Listen.
And the reporters are going to maybe talk to him and he comes out and get his side of the story. And you know how it's happening, Guyana? This guy can bring out a different side. Everybody got a different side of a story. Right?
So here he's bringing out the truth. He's bringing out the truth. Oh, he's bringing out the truth. You understand? Royston Drakes, heavy tongue Royston Drakes. He's bringing out the truth. Now, it has been alleged by Critic that he moved to the car to collect money. You understand? But I could tell you my own story about Royston Drakes. And the truth that he does bring out. The truth. Royston Drakes. So, during the 2015-2020 period, or don't let me make it so broad. During the elections period of 2020, I was doing buying and selling of greens at board and them things. So I out on the market from like around 11 to about 6 the next morning at board the market there, right? And one morning, sun was up, probably about minutes to 6 or so. Royston Drakes came to board the market. I can call on vendors who were there who could corroborate my story. Royston can't sue me because I'm not lying on him. Royston Drakes from Drake's Productions. Let me pull back so you could see who I'm talking about.
And you know how
this guy, Royston, thanks for pointing him out, Critic. Royston Drakes. This here, just like how Mohammed labels me not a journalist, he should be labeled not a journalist. I may support or believe in a political party in my personal capacity, just as Royston Drakes. So Royston Drakes is a PNC functionary. You understand me? I'm not a member of the PPP. I'm not a member of the PPP. I support the good governance of the PPP. I support the fact that they're empowering young people, the PPP. You understand me? That is what I support from the PPP. I support the betterment for Guyanese. That is being pushed by the PPP. I support all the work they're doing in Ramadan, which we'll get to. That is what I support. But he, you understand, is a diehard PNC man. I don't know if he got carried, but he pushes PNC propaganda with his feet or not. Royston Drakes. So, back to border. So, Royston Drakes came out at border market to buy greens. And as I said, I have several vendors who were there that could corroborate the story. Because when he said what he said to me, y'all know how I see. When I hear stupidness, I know. Yes, RM Singh. Since 2008, when Carifesta 10 came to Guyana, it's 2008, 2010. Whichever year Carifesta came to Guyana, Carifesta 10, that is when I began doing media work. So, Royston is at border market and we're talking about the elections and the recount, and all of this is in full swing, right? Royston Drake said to me that he saw the winning SOPs for the coalition and he will release them to the media. He can release them in a story. I swear to God, if I'm lying, strike me down, Royston. If I'm lying, you sue me now. Let me go and bring the vendors there. Let me go to court that they could corroborate what you said. You said you see the coalition SOPs and the coalition won the election. That's what Royston Drake said. Right? So Critic was right. These guys just twist the news to suit the narratives that they want. So he was one of the persons pushing the coalition thing that, oh, we got these winning SOPs. We got these winning SOPs. We got these winning SOPs that up to now, not a soul ain't see. So if Mohammed's talking about people who are not a journalist, look at Royston Drake's force. Let me give you another instance with this banner. So last year, Pagwa. Now, me and Royston Drake's, in my view, are cordial because, like I said to you, the day in Border, we had a conversation as two media operatives. Like I said, I met Royston Drake's as a cameraman for Capital News. You understand? He married a girl named, now I want to put you out there, but he married a girl working at NCN, and the girl ended up lefty. I ain't gonna say why on the show, but she ended up lefty. You understand me? And Royston, you meet me in the streets if you want to meet me in the streets. I say what I say, and I know I ain't lying on you. You understand? I ain't lying on you. So, no, Mark M. I'm only saying that because for emphasis of truth. Right? For emphasis of truth. I'm only saying that for emphasis of truth. So this guy, he was a cameraman back then. And after, as I said, Capital News dwindled down to nothing, he gonna start his own thing, which I don't have a problem with that. But I'm telling you all this story in Pagwa, Kitty. So Pagwa Day, I said Pagwa night, me and Quincy Anderson went to Kitty because they usually have a line there to see what's going on. So we got there, we going in and stuff. Everybody shooting everybody with water, everybody drinking and enjoying themselves and stuff. So I pass and now I see Royston Drake. So I got an electric water gun. So I shoot it, pipe. Shots. You understand? Text. Anyway, I pass and I coming back now. And I spot in the next side of the road. So my electric water gun, they shoot far. So I spot it from all right. I lean in it, pipe. I shoot the water. I say, no beer, nothing inside. You understand me? Nothing of this stuff. Shoot you with them. Boy, you know me? Coming up like you want to fight me. You understand? That's the kind of individuals they are. I've exposed Royston Drake on this show more than once with his SOP story. That never came out. Never did an article with photos of the SOP to show Guyanese, well, yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. The coalition won the elections. So you got to look out for people like Royston Drake from Drake's Media. Worthless, dishonest in his reporting, and misleading the Guyanese people. You understand? Misleading the Guyanese people. Now, I want to show you what Critic was talking about. Right? Critic alleged that this wretch on Mohammed payroll already as well. You understand? So, this here is outside the police station. This is outside the police station when Mohammed's had to go in there for something. I can't remember what it was exactly. So you see him leaving with the lawyers there. Watch Royston Drake's. Watch Ryson coming up, you know. So you see Ryson in the back of the car there? Look, there's Ryson here. Right? Forever the camera phone anyway. So look at this here. So Critic comes round to the back of the car where Ryson was. You see he going away in peace? Look at the door opening now. Look. Right? Look. So the door open. Mohammed Kali, you're coming back the girl. Look, he said you're coming back there. Watch. Look. The door opens. He turn to the girl. I'm coming back there. He gone over. Secretive video in. And decide to walk off and not go and collect it up. So is either Ryson man that he just walk over to this car and here to stand up and do nothing, to get no video, no nothing. Understand me? Or he get catch going to take a bribe, to take a payout. So as you see now, so look here. He stands here. He left that young lady, came over here. He videotape nothing. He interview a soul. He take a picture. He ain't nothing. Yeah, I think this was a drone story. Something of the sort. Right? No, man. I don't think this is a drone story. He didn't do nothing in the car and over here. He just randomly walked there. Stop. When he see Critic, camera pointing in his direction. Critic turns away to walk up the road. So let's see. This is not. Hold on. Let me count the seconds. So let me say 1. Hold on. From when Critic turns, let me count the seconds. See Critic videoing. He stopped. Right? He stops there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. 8 seconds. He videotape nothing. He just go back to the girl. He gonna link up with him later, allegedly. He will allegedly link up with him later to collect the money. You understand? So this is how you know the media houses to trust and the ones not to trust. Drake's media is not one of them. Is not one of them. Right? Rice and Drake's, I'm still waiting to see the SOPs that you told me you saw and you're going to share with us. Please, brother, we're waiting. We're waiting to see these winning SOPs. Now, since we're on SOPs, I want to take you out of this here. And I swear to you, I have lost all respect that I had for Dexter Todd. You hear me? I lost all respect I had for Dexter Todd. I felt Dexter Todd was one of the best attorneys in this country. And I now see that Dexter Todd is willing to tarnish his character and his career by trying to continue to mislead people in relation to things that would have passed through the court system at the very highest level and been determined from the courts to observers to political parties, everybody. You understand? So, Dexter, I will officially say, you sell your soul, brother. Listen to this.
Did the coalition lose the last election?
I would say no.
They didn't lose.
No.
Did the coalition lose the last election?
Yeah, you go down, sir.
I would say no.
They didn't lose.
So this is Wendell Jeffrey. I don't know why the audio went down like that in the beginning, but he asked if the coalition lost the last elections. This is Dexter Todd responding.
Did the coalition lose the last election?
I would say no.
They didn't lose.
No. I said the PPP remained in power by a fluke.
This guy This guy, want to tell you high esteem? I have this gentleman in high esteem as one of the good Afro Guyanese lawyers. Okay, remember Niger used embarrassing me everywhere, losing case left, right, and center. Talking the most stupidness you could find. Buying land from people without people showing you that they actually own the land. You understand? So Nigel Hughes was a letdown and a disappointment. And we all know Darren Wade. The boy is a mook. Everybody from UG says so. The boy is a mook. You understand? So it fell back to Dexter Todd. Because you know Dexter Todd winning case left and right. He practicing in Belize. He winning case there. He winning case here. But power. He want power. Power is a thing that has corrupt you. And I'm saying to y'all this morning, our boy Dexter sell his soul. Listen to Dexter Todd. Listen to Dexter Todd here. Respond to the question from Wendell Jeffrey.
Did the coalition lose the last election?
I would say no.
They didn't lose.
No. I said the PPP remained in power by a fluke.
So the ruling from the High Court, Appeal Court, CCJ, is fluke. This is an attorney at law speaking to y'all, you know. This is an attorney at law speaking to you. Mind you, I would have posted on my page commentary from Dexter Todd in the same period, praising the ruling of the Chief Justice in these electoral matters. Now this wretch coming out here, it is in such a duplicitous manner to mislead the Guyanese people. You're a horrible person, Dexter Todd. You understand me? I hope you lose clients from this. I hope persons decide not to come to you for legal services. Horrible, horrible.
The irregularities that everyone knows, ballot boxes without documentations, votings with dead people voting.
Dead people voting. You hear this, boy? Dexter Todd has not, nor any of his colleagues or comrades in the court of law, produced any credible evidence to back up this claim of dead people voting. You understand? To back up the claim of dead people voting. In relation to the ballot boxes that didn't have documents inside, it has been well reported around the place that those instructions came from the Mingos them and the low-end fields to the junior staff at GCOM. So those instructions were some of the reasons those documents didn't make it into the box. So Dexter Todd, you're a horrible person.
Votings with dead people voting, persons out.
Dead people voting.
I'm not gonna really litigate this.
You hear Wendell Jeffrey, sir? And you see the look on Wendy, the look of disdain on Wendell Jeffrey face. You understand? The look on Wendell Jeffrey face. I have said it on this show either this week or last week. When you see somebody with this look on the face, the person who they're dealing with, piece of shit. Piece of shit. You understand? Piece of shit. That's literally what Wendell Jeffrey, this piece of shit. Look at this man. That's what Wendell Jeffrey face saying to me. Imagine this big man. Imagine this big man.
With dead people voting.
Y'all look at this. Just look and listen.
Persons out of the country.
I'm not gonna really litigate this because it's you know one of the things that peeves me.
Yes.
Me too, bro.
As a Guyanese, is that we have never had an election, I don't think, maybe except for one, where the loser said they lost. And I want to know why we bring in observers.
Excellent points by Wendell Jeffrey. The observers, GCOM, all the other political parties saying one thing. And then there's one section saying something else.
We bring in what President Granger called them, interlocutors.
The most competent, Wendell, not just interlocutors, the most competent interlocutors President Granger brought. Most competent. And this wretch sit down here bringing disrepute to the CARICOM people who come to do the recount, the Trinidadians, everybody, Carter Center, OAS, everybody that come, Dexter Todd, putting into disrepute. All of them should sue you. Yeah, it's past people, Dexter. You should shame.
And they pronounce. The observers pronounce on the elections. The interlocutors pronounce on the elections. And yet, a week before the next election, we can't have a consensus. If only because we ask these objective people.
Look at his face. Because he understands that when they're telling him, hey, you're making people an ass. This city councillor, he's another waste too. I don't know. Jesus Christ. I see some city councillors yesterday. Some of them, bye.
We bring them in and ask them to overlook. And they say, well, okay, from what we have seen, and still be here. But I'm not going to relitigate.
I don't believe no court in the history of in any part of the world would have said that that is a valid elections.
So why you didn't carry it to a court in the world? You weren't around Dexter Todd. That is why I say, for me, I don't see myself like up in politics, like in no big position ever in life, in politics. Because I can't separate the foolishness that you usually talk or some stupidness that you might say at one event and like blocked out of my mind at another event and be cordial with you. This is foolishness to the max. You hear me? And it's only because at the time I won't go and scroll Facebook to show you what Dexter Todd said when the court ruled on elections matters then. I actually want to do it, you know. I want to do it. But I'll post it to Facebook again, along with this video, so y'all can have the contrast between the two. Dexter Todd is a horrible person.
You know, I worked actively as a journalist during the last election.
You notice these two mooks, Dexter and the councillor, can't actively counteract anything that Jeffrey said. Everything that Dexter is saying to you is pure speculation. Pure speculation. The courts looked at the facts. The PNC ain't drop off their winning SOPs to the court yet. Jesus Christ. And this wretch, Dexter, y'all are dangerous people, boy. Y'all are dangerous people. Dexter Todd, as the person who has recently been saying, oh, the PNC didn't rig, the PNC, the PNU, they do nothing, they win the election. Up to now, Dexter can host a live program. He do live program for Adrian, he do live program for the Scrapes, he do live program for the man who claim he didn't tell the PVP activists nothing, and then the video come out and it's a whole different story, run up to the people boss, costing the people but all kind of thing. We hear all of that from Dexter, but nothing on the SOPs. Dexter make the candidate list and Dexter even asked to see the SOPs. Dexter, could you say to us Guyanese that I, Dexter Todd, saw those SOPs and the coalition won the election? Look at the two of them face, the shame, because Wendell dropping it in them. Look at them.
I worked actively as a journalist during the last election.
Look how Dexter got him out to play. When they're talking, you know, he in pause mode because he can't process or dance around what Wendell is saying to him. He can't. He cannot. Look.
Is a valid elections.
You know,
So he going
I
to pause, he face
worked actively as a journalist during the last.
get paralysis on one side. None of them can come to what Wendell Jeffrey is saying. But the city council ain't got the head for that. We know that. We know that. Right? This guy, I think I saw the former mayor here, Patricia Chase Green, on this live. She can attest because she sits, I'm sorry, not she. The former mayor, now councillor, sits on the council and has been sitting there probably since this banner was in a diaper. And the former mayor, now councillor, could attest to his presentations at the council. Lackluster at best. Nothing with the people in mind. Right? This guy could probably take you to his community and you could see nothing done, championed by him. You understand me? Not a thing. Nothing. Right? So look. Look at when.
You know, I worked actively as a journalist during the last election. And no less a person than the Honorable Basil Williams told me, I have it on record, video, that he has the statement of polls that show that they...
Look at the face. The council can't say nothing. So he even pulling the lip. So don't expect a rebuttal from me. Let the attorney who like talking and to represent people deal with this matter. Because you talking on it. It's not credibility lectures.
One. Basil Williams told me that with a camera in his face and a mic to his...
Dexter Todd. And you know them attorneys who think a lot of themselves. They don't care what anybody else. No, they don't care what anybody says. I can defend anything. I can defend anything. I don't care. You can say who you want. It's literally be watching the fallen Nigel Hughes again. Literally. Nigel Hughes, who was a prominent authority in this country, jumped into politics and just went nosedive. Dexter Todd, prominent attorney, winning the cases, jump into politics. Nosedive. Because they're starting with the lies and the misrepresentation. Lies and misrepresentation. And up to now, I am telling you, I give you up to 12 o'clock tonight. Give Dexter Todd up to 12 o'clock tonight. Somebody tag Dexter Todd in this thing. Give Dexter Todd up to 12 o'clock tonight. I bet you Dexter Todd will not go and do a live and show the SOPs.
My mic. He told me that. And to date, Basil, none of you guys have produced the statement of polls that show you one.
None of them. Look, I don't know what to say with these people. I don't know what to say with these people. Look who resurfaced.
You see the one called Mohammed now and get many votes from the Indian area.
So the PNC in the last days, the APNU, whoever they be, you understand me? Because if you notice, all the senior positions in the APNU are filled by the PNC. Churita is not in the AFC anymore. AFC is not a part of any coalition. Don't get this twisted. The AFC is not a part of any coalition. So the three top spots in the APNU coalition, which I think got 6, 7 parties, whoever it is, went to one party. The presidential candidate is from the PNC. The prime ministerial candidate is from the PNC. The vice presidential candidate is from the PNC. So the WPA in K, but nothing, let it take everything. Leon Sal party, the Rasta party in K, but nothing. Let it take everything. Whoever else in K, but nothing. Let it take everything. So the rollout, I think this is Henry Jeffries. The Jeffries, them going on. Right? And it's back to the race politics again. You understand? Back to the race politics again. So now he know Mohammed's going to pull Indian vote.
You see the one called Mohammed, he not get many votes from no Indian area. He gonna go to the black people areas in the margin. You like the Scripps? Is the Scripps gonna vote for him?
So even the PNC addressing their support base, that's the Scripps. Right? He didn't take the time to take that label off of their support base, as he is saying here. Because remember, he just said, Mohammed's not going to get support from Indo areas. It's the Scripps. So who is he talking about? Who is he talking about?
Believe you me, and he is going to go in the Amerindian area.
So he make it clear, Amerindians and the Scripps. So they are two different persons, or two different ethnicities. So the Scripps can't be Amerindian. So who are you talking about?
Yes, the marginal ones. Is the PPP set him up?
So the PPP, according to Mohammed, sanctioning, close on the business, close on all the bank accounts. And now according to Henry Jeffrey, is the PPP set you up to close it down?
Between October and January, this PPP gave Mohammed $30 million.
$30 million is chump change to Mohammed's brother. Brian must go for collect more than for Mohammed's and get a trashing. $30 million? What Henry Jeffrey talking about? $30 million? People, according to these, this video released by Travis Chase, the interview Travis Chase was in, people borrowing more money than that. Jesus Christ. Listen, guys. Right, so I see he's ready. Guys, before we continue, let me welcome on screen Dario McKenna. Dario, pronounce your last name for me. It's always tripped me up.
Hey man, just use Dario, no man.
Dario is here. Morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning. I like the fire you keep carrying. Listen, you are an institution in this country by now. All right, we are all very proud of you. You're carrying some really good fire. The issues are being ventilated very well. The passion and clarity you bring to the issues on a daily basis is making quite an impact, and I need you to know that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot to hear that. Now, Dario, before I jump into any questions for you, did you see the last video I played with Dexter Todd? I'd like you to share your thoughts on that.
No, I didn't see. I was preparing to get on here. However, I suspect that it may have been the clip on that Safe TV interview,
right? Yes.
Where he is in a very delusional state, claiming that no court in the world would have ruled that the 2020 elections were valid. I'm wondering whether he was under a rock during the litigations that went all the way to the CCJ, and our premier Caribbean court ruled that the elections were legitimate and that the PPPC were the legitimate winners.
Right.
Where was he? Was he on a different planet when that happened? I can't understand how a lawyer with a PhD behind his name can come up with something so ridiculous.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You know?
But Dario, it's election season. you are from the community of Linden. I'd love my viewers to hear directly from a Lindener your thoughts on the progress that was made 2020 to today, the 27th of August 2025. You're there, you've seen what's happening on the ground. Talk to us, give us a better idea.
In fact, Courdel, I want to do even better than that. I want to take you into the period before 2015 in terms of what was done in Linden, because the opposition is carrying a narrative to the good people of Linden that is being rejected outright because people big on the gas sense. They're saying to Lindeners that the only reason you're seeing some projects happening now is because the PPC and Dr. Ali got oil money to spend. But we have been countering that very effectively to remind Lindeners that prior to 2015, serious transformative development was happening here in Linden and Region 10.
Correct.
And I made a list, and I don't know how much time you're giving me this morning, but I would love to go through that list.
You talk.
Right. Listen, before we talk about all of the transformation that has been happening from 2020 to now, allow me to take you back to the pre-2015 period under President Jagdeo and President Ramatar. Two terms of President Jagdeo. And people seem to forget that on the housing, the PPP civic government came up with a policy of housing this nation in every region. And there was no exception for regions and towns that are not support bases of the PPP, Linden being one. And you would know, Courdel, that Amelia's Ward, the new Amelia's Ward, is as large or larger than the Diamond Housing Scheme.
Indeed.
Amelia's Ward starts from Lovers Lane and goes all the way to the Millie's Hideout Junction and goes as deep in as all the way to Bamia.
Wow.
We're talking about tens of thousands of houses within that catchment area, all new, started under President Jagdeo. Here in Linden, the PNC stronghold. And so when they come to tell us that before oil, they did nothing for us for 23 years, we are reminding the people in every nook and cranny of this community that is foolishness, is rubbish, and all they're trying to do is pull wool over your eyes, because every Lindener is so proud of the size of Amelia's Ward that everywhere we go, we boast about having one of the largest housing schemes in the country and the Caribbean. All right, but it didn't stop there. Amelia's Ward was not the only housing development that happened before 2015. Block 22, which started as a squatting area, was regularized by the Jagdeo administration, and all the necessary infrastructure went in there. Roads, electricity, water, and titles for the whole of Block 22. All right? And then there was the expansion of the Wisrock housing scheme. Now, that has happened over time and is now being further expanded in the 2 or 3 new phases of Wisrock. Pretty soon, Wisrock is going to reach all the way to Rockstone.
Wow.
With the amount of new phases being opened up under the PPP civic government. A new area has just been identified beyond West Watuka that can situate more than 2,000 new house lots. And the Ministry of Housing is actively looking into that. They just unveiled the new plans for beyond Wisrock. But that's new, right? But I want to come back to the pre-2015 period because it's very, very significant. In terms of industry, right in Amelia's Ward, South Amelia's Ward, more than 30 sawmills have set up and have been active there. Each of them employs an average of 10 persons. Did you hear me? I hope everybody heard that right. More than 30 sawmills have been established in South Amelia's Ward, and each of them employ an average of 10 persons. The Bosai Company, The bauxite company was privatized under the Jagdeo administration long before oil. And under the privatized unit entity, BOSAI, there are currently 950 persons employed there. 950. And BOSAI recently announced that in its new expansion, they're going to be employing about another 500 Lindeners.
Yeah.
These are real high value employment we're talking about. We're not talking, and then of course you have the 10-day worker program where you have over 1,000 persons on that program. And so when it comes to employment and empowerment of the people of Linden, this has been going on for a very long time. The call center at Karakara was established under the Jagdeo administration that started out with more than 100 employees. And the local leaders in the RDC and the MNTC did everything in their power to undermine that private entity, to undermine them and cause it to shutter during the coalition period. Close its doors and sent home over 100 persons. Never to be revived for those whole 5 years when the coalition was in power. And guess what? When the PPPC returned to power in 2020, we reopened the call center, employing another 100 and something persons again. So you realize the amount of employment I just pointed out to you. Both sides with 950. Go ahead.
What jumped out to me there? You spoke about job creation. You spoke about housing. The party that claims to be the most caring for Afro-Guyanese have nothing to contrast that with. What
I'm going to do the comparison for you just now and show you how much nothingness Linden enjoyed during 2015 to 2020. Nothingness compared to what I'm telling you about.
Look at, you spoke of Block 22 as well. Fitzhope, Minister Kroll, and Minister Rodriguez did the same thing there.
You see the size of Fitzhope? You see the size of that development, the scale of that development?
Oh my gosh.
With all the roads already going in.
Dario, you know those people were there between 2015 to 2020 and nothing done for them. They didn't
Here's
move
the
in
comparison.
2020.
Here's the comparison.
Go ahead, Dario. Continue.
The housing minister during the period of the coalition tenure was a Lindener. Minister Valerie Sharp, Patterson, Yearwood. Minister Valerie is a Lindener who was the Minister of Housing during that period.
Yeah.
You know what was done for housing in Linden during that entire 5 years period? About 12 houses were built in Amelia's ward. That's it. That's it. About 12 houses were built in Amelia's ward. And then the minister said there's no land for the issuing of new house lots. And yet, from 2020 to now, several thousands of new house lots have been issued.
Young professionals, them get, look at the young professionals there.
1,000. 1,000 young professional houses are being built for the people of Linden. All right. Now, in agriculture, the Millie's Hideout agriculture zone that has hundreds of acres of arable land was opened under the Jagdeo administration long before oil. West Watuka that has hundreds of acres of land with proper drainage and irrigation canals built in there was opened under the Jagdeo administration long before oil. The processing plant that was established at Wutuka, that's new. That's between 2020 and now that was established. There's a brand new agro-processing plant that was established in Wutuka where all the farmers and entrepreneurs, even if you're not a farmer and you're making pepper sauce,
right,
you can take your produce to that processing center and have it packed, processed, and packaged. Compliments of the government of Guyana, compliments of the PPP civic government of Guyana.
Yes.
And right there in Watuka, soon to be opened, is a massive hydroponic project that is spanning about an acre of land.
Wow.
Highly technological development there, where young people will be brought together, like President Ali did for the young people at Mon Repose and those places, bringing young people together to perhaps form a cooperative. I'm not sure what the model is going to be, but I suspect it's going to be a similar model to come together, bring young people together to operate that shade house project. And there'll be ready markets for their produce. So that is what's happening in terms of agriculture. All right. In terms of other developments, all of the road networks, the entire road network, the municipal road network of Linden has been overhauled completely. Places where there were never any roads, Courdel. You came to Linden recently. You can drive into every nook and cranny of this place.
I remember Media's Ward used to go into some big holes and come back out. Now it's concrete roads everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Everywhere. Dario, I want to get your opinion on something. So there's a prime ministerial candidate out of Linden. He's an apostle. I call him the false prophet, but I'm not going to put that on you. That's me. So he's a prime ministerial candidate. Now, he spoke on a live recently, and he labeled the reconstruction of the Mackenzie ground, the Mackenzie Sports Club ground, as it being taken away from the Lindeners. Now, Dario, that ground is being upgraded to international standards. As somebody who is on the ground in Linden, what are the thoughts of Lindeners in relation to this upgrade? And you, as a person who has institutional knowledge on that ground, the condition it was in, and what it's being transformed into. Share your thoughts on those sentiments shared by that prime ministerial candidate.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to come home to a much more empowering, transformational intervention that has been done by President Ali here in Linden, as has been done across the country. Before I get to the stadia, the two stadia that are under construction here in Linden, I want to talk about the contractors program. Remember, just before you asked me that question, I pivoted to tell you about the road network that has been overhauled completely.
Right.
Now, that contractors program here in Linden provided contracts to locals at the rate of about 1,200 contractors, Lindeners.
Right.
Yeah, the number I just called 1,200 Lindeners getting contracts at an average of $11 to $15 million a piece, with a takeaway profit of between $4 million to $5 million a piece. And that particular prime ministerial candidate that you spoke about was one of those contractors.
Yep.
Him and several tens of known opposition activists, local leaders here in Linden, who were made contractors under that program.
Right.
All right. So that's real empowerment. Courdel, I want people to take a moment and try to assimilate what that actually means in terms of empowerment. Imagine that amount of families in Linden getting an injection of $4 to $5 million into their households. The catalytic effect of that speaks to the magnitude of a grand scale of empowerment, of family citizens empowerment, because every contractor can now reinvest into something that they had as a dream, whether it's a small business, whether to buy a canter, whether to start providing a transportation service between Linden and Mahdia, whether to start providing some kind of service between Linden and Ituni and Kokwani. This is serious catalytic empowerment we are talking about. And this is from a government that Norton came to Linden and said, don't like Linden. So let we talk about the stadium now. There's one at Mackenzie and there's one at Wisma. The one at Mackenzie is a multi-purpose stadium that will provide for international class events, integrated cricket, football, a number of sports will be played there at international standards.
Right.
From the moment that project was unveiled, there was terrible, terrible opposition from the local leaders.
Yeah.
And when you listen to the arguments, Courdel, a sheer Lilliputian kind of, I'm borrowing President VP Jack Dio's term here, Lilliputian leaders, that instead of embracing the development that is coming to this town, ensuring that they ring fence it with vigilance, ensuring that the contractor delivers according to the specifications, ensuring that the project costs don't have too many overruns, ensuring that the employment of Lindeners is made a priority, ensuring that all of the amenities and facilities that are supposed to go in are actually going in according to the specs, and holding the government accountable to deliver a world-class facility as was promised. That's what a proper local leader would do. Instead, all you had from the time the ground was broken to now are threats about stopping the project, about the suitability of the project for Linden, because Lindeners don't play cricket. Imagine Basil Butcher, the legendary late Basil Butcher is from Linden. And you had local leaders saying that Lindeners don't play cricket. And so we don't need no big international standard cricket ground in Linden. Can you imagine that, Courdel? And all they're doing is throwing in all kind of red herring and obfuscation to try to stymie the project. But it's, you know what? It's moving ahead. Yeah. It's moving ahead at rapid pace and will be unveiled shortly. The one over at Wizrock at the Bay Rock Community Center ground there, that's a synthetic track.
Right.
You know, Courdel, that Linden Region 10, they have come out as champions for the past how many years? About 15 years. Consecutively, Region 10 has dominated the country and came out as champions at the National Athletics Competition. And so a synthetic track coming to Linden at Wisma is a game changer for our athletes, current and future. All right? And so those two facilities in themselves will provide socio-economic transformation of this town, Linden, that Norton is telling people that the government don't like in this day and age.
With what you just said, the stadium at Mackenzie, international standards. Currently, we have CPL and now there's the Super League. These matches can only be played at Providence. With that stadium in Linden, it brings occupancy to hotels, food sales, sales of craft for the people in the area, Linden Power and Light, people using more electricity up there. It brings a lot of economic activity, right? So how could a leader in Linden not want this kind of betterment for Lindeners? It makes no sense to me.
Most of the vitriol that you see towards those legendary guys that started a revolution in football in Linden, Kashif and Shanghai. Remember when the Kashif and Shanghai tournament used to be played at Mackenzie Sports Club?
Yeah.
It was a travesty in terms of logistics.
Yeah.
Because the place was so dilapidated. But those guys were creating miracles. Those guys were bringing thousands of people from all across the country coming into Linden, booking up all the hotels, selling off all the restaurants. The taxi drivers were benefiting. The boatman was benefiting. The hairdresser and nail salons were benefiting. When that tournament was moved to Providence, a lot of vitriol and almost hatred
I remember.
was targeted towards those guys. A lot of people were so upset that they moved that tournament out of Linden. Of course, they were addressing the bigger picture that the whole country perhaps needed to enjoy the thing at a more international class facility. And so there were reasons. Those of us for Linden who are passionate about everything staying in Linden, you know, we were upset.
No, but Dario, people used to come from all across the country, out the country for that event.
Yes.
They couldn't hold the place.
Yes.
The place couldn't hold the people.
But I made reference to that to point people back to the immediate spin-off benefits that were enjoyed for several years when the Kashif and Shanghai tournament was running.
Right.
Now, picture that tournament at an international level like CPL and the Global Super League coming to Mackenzie, coming to the Mackenzie Stadium. That's what we're looking at. That's the kind of attention that this tongue is getting from the PPP civic government. And that's why people are not listening to the foolishness anymore. This nonsense that they may like you ain't resonating, you know. It ain't sticking because people big and they got sense. We could see for ourselves, every Londoner, including those who don't have the benefit of their sight anymore, are seeing the transformation for themselves. They're feeling it. People, their neighbors and their family members are telling them about it. Say, you know, mommy, I know you can't see, but do you know that there's a brand new road passing right outside the gate for the first time? Mommy, do you know that the Mackenzie Hospital will be upgraded at the tune of $30 million US? Mommy, do you know, Granny, do you know that the Mackenzie Sports Club, that place that was falling apart, will soon be an international standard stadium? Granny, Mommy, do you know that our athletes will soon be running on a synthetic track at Wisma? These are the stories being talked about in every home of Linden, and it's causing such a stir that it's causing desperation in the opposition camp, Courdel, because every nook and cranny we are able to go as PPPC for the first time in the history of this country. In every nook and cranny we are able to go, and we are not being rejected anywhere. There was one little incident when the campaign started, involving an altercation between some very over-enthusiastic WIN supporters and PPP supporters who were putting up flags over at Wisma there. There was a little misunderstanding, and it was settled within 5 minutes. All right? Apart from that, there has been no rejection of PPP activists going into communities. People are welcoming us. They're accepting that flyer that we are sharing for them to read about all of the accomplishments over the past 5 years. They are reading about the plans for this Tongan region for the next 5 years under Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. And they're thinking for themselves, and they're considering that this kind of transformation must continue. And it must continue by the people who are bringing it into this town in the first place.
Dario, a really big thing I want you to comment on. My skin is growing as I think about it. I was just in Linden the other day for the rally, and I traveled on the Linden Suicide Highway, which had sections that have already been rehabilitated. I know personally that you and your family some time ago used to traverse that highway daily.
6 years. For 6 years.
Morning and evening for work in Georgetown, back and forth every day. So you could have a deep appreciation for what it was and what it's becoming or being rehabilitated to. Talk to us a little bit about that and the impact that will have on the community of Linden.
I pointed that out to the good people of Section C, Christianburg, on the stage last night when I spoke with them. Minister Hugh Todd, Foreign Affairs Minister, who hails from Linden too, as does the Prime Minister of Guyana, Brigadier retired Mark Phillips, who hails from Poker Street, Christianburg. Hugh Todd is my neighbor here in Richmond Hill. His family home is here in Richmond Hill. He went to Mackenzie High School. Prime Minister Mark Phillips went to Multi School. Multi-school is now being rebuilt at the tune of $2 billion that will be the most expensive investment in any school in any part of Guyana. The sod has already been turned and the contract has been signed. The same school that Mark Phillips went to will become the most advanced secondary school in the entire country right here in Linden. And so I was pointing out to the good people of Section C Christianburg last night that you see that Linden Highway that is now being completely rehabilitated and redone. At the end of it, there will be street lights, more than 2,000 street lights from end to end. And so all of those accidents and the amount, so many lives of Lindeners and others that we've lost on that highway over the years, and we remember them. We remember so many good souls from Linden. Mr. Duncan, our poet. We remember Clive Hercules. We remember so many brilliant, talented Lindeners who we lost on that highway over the years. And it was getting from bad to worse. It became the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
The waves were so terrible. When you go over those waves at a certain speed, your head slams into the roof of the car. And as you said, my family and I traversed that highway for 6 years straight, morning and evening. And I eventually I got to know the highway like the palm of my hand.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And I used to caution people from the rest of the country that when you come into Linden, when you get on that highway, don't panic when you see a vehicle come out of its own lane into your lane and you are approaching and the vehicle seems not to be coming out of your lane. He's in his wrong lane, he's in your lane. But you're getting closer and closer and you don't seem to be coming out. Don't panic and cross over into his lane because he knows, especially if it's a Lindener, he knows how much time he got to get back into his lane. All he's doing is trying to avoid some waves. That's all.
Yeah.
But most Lindeners got it down pat to come out of the lane to avoid the terrible waves and get back into the lane before the next vehicle gets too close. Some of them have miscalculated over the years and cost lives. But by and large, you know, we have been biting our nails. We have been waiting with bated breath for that highway to be redone. And you know what? In 2015, the people of Linden said emphatically to President Granger, with Aubrey Norton as his presidential advisor, who's from Linden. Who's from Linden, right?
Yeah.
From Christianburg, the same place I spoke last night. All right? He was presidential advisor on youth empowerment. Knowing that we lost so many dozens of young people on that highway, the people of Linden said emphatically to President Granger in 2015, we need that highway fixed, and we need it fixed completely and quickly. 2020 came, Courdel, and nothing was done. The highway remained the same. The same people of Linden, the base of the PNC, said to President Granger, with Norton by his side, that one-lane bridge, that one-way traffic bridge between Wismar and Mackenzie is failing. We frighten it falling the Demerara River with us. We need it fixed. We need a new bridge, and we need it quickly. 2020 came, and nothing was done. You know when they take shame of the eye and scramble to try and come up with something? After the no confidence motion, when they were fired, all right, in the parliament and the government collapsed and they realized that their days were numbered, they rushed and brought some architects together and unveiled a design for 2 lanes. They unveiled a design just before the elections in 2020 for 2 lanes.
Yeah.
And then President Ali took office and very quickly unveiled a design for 4 lanes. And you know what? It is under construction as we speak. In those 5 years, President Ali said, we will get it done. The highway that you asked Granger for and nothing was done, we will get it done. And it is being done. the bridge that you asked Granger for and nothing was done, we will get it done, and it is being done. The highway that runs from Wismar all the way to Letem to link us to the economic giant on our border, Brazil, that will have a catalytic transformational impact on this town and region when commerce and trade and everything starts flowing through that highway. The people of Linden said to President Granger with Norton by his side that we want it done. 2020 came and nothing was done. Guess what? Under President Ali, it is being done.
Yeah.
All the way to Mabura as the first phase is almost complete.
So I was jumping to that next. So I've seen persons from the APNU traversing the road complaining about its condition. Why do you think persons misrepresent the truth? The facts are the construction has started from, as you said, Wismar to Mabura. And once that is complete, it will continue. All the bridges between Wismar and Letem are completed. Why do you think these opposition personnel continue to misrepresent the works of the current administration?
Because of what I just pointed out to you. They got nothing done, and President Ali is getting everything done. And so that there is embarrassing them, because they continue to tell the people of Linden, the PPP don't like you. And the people of Linden are seeing every day transformative investments being made in their tongue. All right. And so it's embarrassing those opposition persons. And instead of being responsible, solid local leaders who should, by all means, I encourage them to do this. From time to time, when you see things ain't going right, all the water that is accumulating on the highway that is being rehabilitated now, you ask for a meeting with the contractor or the engineers. You're the mayor of the town, you're the regional chairman, the equivalent of a governor. You ask for a meeting with the engineers and you clarify what is happening. Right. Why is so much water settling on the highway, which shouldn't happen? Is there a stopgap measure that you can implement to drain off the water? Because what I gather from the engineers is that the project is barely halfway, and their systems and their designs that will go into the shoulders that will ensure that no water settles, but they're not at that stage yet. And so because they're now resurfacing, scarifying and resurfacing, the water is settling because the drainage to the shoulders have not gone in yet. Right. All right? I got that explanation. Surely the local leaders could have gotten that explanation, but they're not interested in such explanations. They're interested in pointing out what they see as faults, all right, and ringing a bell. Look, in fact, listen, Mr. Norton said on the stage at the Palm Tree Cinema that they're giving you 2 lanes instead of 4 lanes on the Linden Highway because they don't like Linden. That's what he tied it to, the same nonsense, because they don't like Linden. Now, for me personally, I would have liked to see a 4 lane, all right, because we're building for the future.
Right.
But we, at this stage where the real oil money is not yet flowing, that will start after 2027 and beyond, is when real money will start flowing. Right now, it's pittance we get in, all right? And for the Ali administration, in these 5 years, based on the 30-something% of the oil money that is in the national budget, to decide that these infrastructure projects must be priority. Too many lives are being lost on the Linden Highway. We are opening up this country to Brazil, and so we got to get it done, and we got to get it done now. And so 2 lanes are going in now, and I could imagine in the future, in the very near future, it will be expanded to 4 lanes. All right? And so that is what they do all the time, because they're so embarrassed and shame about getting nothing done in those 5 years to the people of Linden. All they can do is point out faults. You remember the hullabaloo and the noise that was made about when the bridge started, the construction of the new bridge started by the mayor?
Yeah.
The alternative route to divert the traffic was capped with some red sand that came from behind the aluminum plant. Now, people of Linden have been using that red sand for donkey years to build up the backyard, to build up the parapet, to patch holes in the street and all that, and nobody never complained that they're going to kill you. All of a sudden, this man started raising hell that they're trying to... He actually said that they're trying to kill Linden people.
And the extent
Can you listen to me? These guys are so irresponsible. You know what was the response from our government? Minister Edgil, who's a cluster leader for this region, who has been in Linden almost 4 days out of every... Listen, I don't know how the man has managed to keep up with his work in the other parts of the country. He's in Linden every day, in the Barbies River, in all the far-flung communities of Region 10, attending to the needs and concerns of the people of this region, day in, day out. The people of Linden can get through to Minister Edgil night or day. And if they complain about something tonight, by 4 a.m. morning, Minister Edgil is in Linden on site to attend to those issues. And the same attentive Minister of Public Works, who has such interest in ensuring that the people of Linden get their due, even though it was nonsense that was being raised about that bypass road and the red sand that was on it. You know what we did? Minister Edgil ensured that we capped the entire road with bitumen, asphalt. So the back road that everybody used to drive, that they share dust, and when you drive there is a whole cloud of dust will raise up, and the people of Fairs Ross and Wutuka used to suffer the brunt of the dust pollution. It is now a paved road. Even though they were talking nonsense about the red sand, you know.
Yeah.
That's the kind of responsiveness that is inculcated by President Ali with his ministers. No minister in their constituency have the luxury or have had the luxury over the past 5 years to hear serious concerns being expressed by a community and not be immediately responsive. No minister. And that's the kind of leadership we have in President Ali. That's the kind of impact and the people-centered leadership we have from President Ali. And so that is why on September 1, we got to ensure that we allow that exceptional leader to serve his 2 constitutional terms, because 1 good term just simply deserves another.
Indeed. I want to run another claim that was made by you. Again, to my viewers, Dario Lindener, he lives there, his home is there, his family is from Linden. So he has a clear idea what is going on in Linden. Now, the regional chairman, Mr. Deron Adams, would have said on social media that Venezuelans are taking homes from Guyanese in Linden and coming into their homes and robbing them. Now, I would have ran this by the divisional commander, who has said he has heard no reports of that. You're a guy on the ground. You seem to be well connected with the pulse of Linden. Have you heard anything of the sort in relation to that happening in Linden?
Courdel, it comes right back to the kind of irresponsible Lilliputian leadership that I referred to earlier. All right? Because of the impact, the transformational impact the PPPC is having in Linden and Region 10, desperation is stepping in. Fear-mongering is becoming the order of the day. And the dog whistle racism that always raises its ugly head, especially here in Linden, during an election campaign, has begun. And it is being led by, very unfortunately, it is being led by our regional chairman. Now, the regional chairman and I are good friends. We grew up in the same church. His father was my pastor. His father was one of the most revered men of God in all of Guyana, Pastor Emil Adams. So the regional chairman comes from a mixed family, mixed race family. He comes from a decent family. And he's very young. He is one of the youngest, if not the youngest regional chairman we've ever had. And that when it became a reality, I still am very, very proud of a young Londoner like Darren Adams, somebody I know personally, somebody from this community who grew up under the elders of this community, becoming regional chairman. And I have that camaraderie and regard for him outside of politics. There are certain lines I don't cross with people I grew up with and I know and who are my fellow Londoners. I draw the line when it comes to certain things. I don't get into personal attacks and so on. But you know, I would urge Darren Adams to be careful to not allow the desperation that his party is feeling from the response the PPPC is getting in Linden and Region 10 to cloud his judgment. To do not allow that desperation to take him into a realm of politics that is unbecoming. To take him into a realm of politics that will besmirch the good name of the Adams family. To take him into a realm of politics that will cause people to lose regard for this young man. Now, this claim that Venezuelans are taking away people's home lies square in the desperate act of fear-mongering. That's all it is, fear-mongering. They did that when it was discovered that dozens upon dozens of Venezuelans had come to seek employment at those more than 30 sawmills that I told you about. You know why? Because all of the sawmill operators were complaining for years that Londoners don't want the work. They turn up on the job today, and when they draw pay at the end of the week, they're gone. And so an average of 10 employees per sawmill, for those more than 30 sawmills, every sawmill, every week is suffering a decline in their employment catchment of about 5 at a time.
Wow.
But the production got to continue.
Yeah.
And so the Venezuelans got the good news that employment is available in Linden, and they gravitated towards those sawmills and got employment. Not at the expense of Lindeners, because as I said, they were simply filling voids that were created by Lindeners who didn't want to take up the jobs. And so, of course, because they have come, they're migrants, many of them re-migrants, because the vast majority of them are Guyanese who left Guyana in the 80s and 90s and have returned to their homeland because of the socio-economic situation in Venezuela.
Right.
Many of them perhaps don't speak English because of the amount of years that they were living in Venezuela. For many of them are not born Guyanese, but they were born in Venezuela to Guyanese parentage.
Right,
and so they don't necessarily speak good English or any English at all. But that's not a yardstick to say that these are Venezuelans and therefore not Guyanese. Many of them have their Guyanese roots. Some don't, but the vast majority of them have Guyanese roots. And according to our constitution, they are entitled to citizenship in this country. And so the people of Linden, I'm sure if you were to go and talk with those sawmill operators, will tell you how happy they are to have these remigrants and migrants filling the void of taking up the jobs at the sawmills. They're living around the same area. They're renting. Some of them are squatting, which we're not encouraging. And at some point soon, we have to fix that and perhaps create some kind of a settlement for these people with Guyanese roots.
Right.
But this nonsense of home invasions and taking over people's homes is just foolishness, it's lies, and it's fear-mongering. The same kind of fear-mongering we saw a few months ago when a rumor was spread, a nasty rumor was spread by somebody that a Venezuelan in a car was attempting to kidnap a child at the Amelia's Ward Primary School.
Yeah.
Panic ensued. Everybody rushed to the school to collect the picnic and carry them home and so on. And it turned out not to be true. All right? And it's the same kind of fear-mongering we're seeing. Now, I'm going to bring it to an even worse act of fear-mongering that just came 2 days ago from the regional chairman. He put up a post on his page pulling up an old video of an incident involving an altercation between himself and an out-of-town businessman who had parked badly in front of the RDC. And instead of the security of the RDC dealing with the matter, the regional chairman himself came down from his office and accosted the gentleman. All right? An altercation ensued. It was claimed that a firearm was brandished. I don't know. I didn't see that. The video doesn't show that. However, there was an altercation. The man called James Bond at that time. This is over 2 years ago. Called James Bond, who he knows personally, to ask him to kindly intervene and mediate, and put in a call to the regional chairman to apologize on his behalf and to offer a settlement of the matter and to ask for the matter to not be escalated any further because it was unfortunate and he regretted what transpired. James Bond put in that call and the matter was settled amicably. 2 days ago, the regional chairman pulled up that old video, threw it out on social media with a caption that says, "An Indian businessman came to Linden to bully the people of Linden, bullied your regional chairman, did this to your regional chairman, did that to your regional chairman. This is the kind of Indian bullyism we will not tolerate in this town. This is the kind of Indian control and dominance the PPPC wants in our tongue, and Africans must unite and put a stop to this." Now, if I've seen a clear case of racial incitement, that's a case that I believe should draw the attention of the Ethnic Relations Commission. Because in an election season, for a candidate of a party, a senior candidate of a party, to put out such a post, it amounts, in my judgment, to racial incitement. And you know what? He got no traction on it. We debunked it immediately. We were able to put James Bond on air to dispel the nonsense and the claims he was making. All right? And the people of Linden, it got no traction. You know why? Because the people of Linden in depth on them kind of stupidness.
But Dario,
on them kind of stupidness, Courdel. This is a united tongue. And regardless of what happens, whether there's protests, whether there's riots, in the past, in the recent past, no racism stepped into it. And anybody in any one of those protests who attempted to go down those lines of racial attacks was squashed immediately by their own Lindeners.
Yeah.
So that kind of nonsense will not work in Linden. And he ought to know that.
Right. No, but that kind of conversation from the regional chairman, what does that say to the Indians in the APNU PNC party when he's talking like that?
Good point.
You know. Now, before we wrap up, I must touch on this last topic here. The AFC, the Win Party, the APNU, they continue to peddle this story that the Charles Rosen Nursing School in Linden is closed. I mean, it upsets me because I know every time I go to Linden, I see people there. I know about the hybrid program that is being run there. But as a Lindener, is the Charles Rosen Nursing School open or closed? What do you know about it?
It is open. It is very much open, and it was never closed. The claim that continues to be made by the local leaders was that the PPPC was being vindictive and shut down the nursing school because of the protest that was brought against the CEO of the hospital, Mrs. Small, at the time, who there were some unfortunate incidents involving that CEO, who was eventually removed from Linden by the Ministry of Health. All right, during that time, just around that time, the ministry was reforming the nursing program for the entire country.
Right.
All right, to ensure that more applicants from from within their geographic spaces were getting in, and that if there wasn't enough from their geographic space, that applicants from other spaces can fill the void, and so you have balance and equity taking place at all of the training institutes across the country. It was a temporary pause of the administration of Charles Rosa to allow for that reform to be completed. It was just about 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. It was never shutting down of the institution. And the moment it reopened, a new intake was welcomed into the institution. And now you have over 3,000 young people getting their nursing training through a hybrid program of in-person at the institute and online. All right, so it's a lie. It's part of the web of lies that they have come up with to try to deceive the people of Linden and to try to undermine the psychological impact that is taking place, where people are seeing serious transformation, serious investment in their welfare and in their empowerment. And so that, of course, has to be countered by the opposition with lies and fear-mongering and dog whistle tactics that will simply not work.
Yeah. Dario, 6 days before the election, we're about to wrap up here. What do you have to say to the people of Linden and wider Guyana as they head to the polls on September 1?
I want to remind the people of Linden that the investment, the transformation of Linden started long before the oil resources started flowing. Under President Jagdeo, major interventions were made in this town. The privatization of the bauxite company, the building of several new schools. All right, Wisburg was built before oil. The one up in Wisrock was built before oil. Linden Foundation was built before oil. Regma Primary School was built before oil. The Mackenzie Hospital was rebuilt into a modern institution before oil. All right, and all of those sawmills that we were talking about were introduced to Linden before oil. The Linden Economic Advancement Program to diversify the economy of Linden was introduced before oil. The subsidies for your electricity that you enjoy, the only part of the whole country that pays such cheap electricity, much to the envy of our fellow Guyanese, that was introduced before oil and amounts to billions of dollars per year. In fact, between 2020 to now, the expenditure from the national coffers to subsidize your electricity here in Linden amounted to over $13 billion. Wow. All right? And now under President Ali, you are seeing more and more transformational investment being made. That corridor that includes the Linden Highway, your 4-lane bridge, and the new highway all the way to Latham, that's not a road, you know. That's an economic corridor that will have a catalytic transformational effect on this town of ours. The investment in Linden is making them contractors to build their own local infrastructure. More than 1,200 contracts coming to us here in this town. That is because the PPP cares about the people of Linden. It's no talk shop. It's no whitewashing of development. This is real transformational development we're talking about.
Yeah.
In short order, President Ali has announced that the moment the new government takes effect, the Linden Hospital will be further upgraded to the tune of $30 million US. A dental facility has been established here recently that will rival anything available in any part of the country, both public and private, in terms of the facilities that will be available. All right, you can do digital scanning of your mouth to determine what got fix and what got patch up and what got come out and all that at that facility. Listen. The investments that are being made in the lives of the people of this town and region, Courdel, all right, is tangible. It is palpable. It is evidence-based, citizens empowerment. When we get the development bank that has been announced in the new term with 0% interest, it means that Lindeners can get into more business, more entrepreneurship, wealth generation, and wealth creation. That's what President Ali is about. And so on September 1, now this is a very important part I would like the Lindeners and people of this region to hear. Linden has never benefited from the opportunity of having the PPPC manage the affairs of Region 10 at the RDC level. In the history of this town, we've not had the opportunity to do it at the municipal council nor at the regional democratic council. And so given what you are experiencing and seeing, without the PPPC having control at the RDC level, and with the paucity of leadership and representation that you see from your local leaders from the APNU PNC camp, I want to appeal to my fellow Lindeners and people of Region 10 to make a decisive decision on September 1 to vote at the top of the ballot to ensure that President Ali concludes his 2 constitutional terms and really cement the socio-economic transformation of this country, including your town and region, and then go to the bottom of the ballot. Don't leave without putting your X both places. Go to the bottom of the ballot and place the X there again near to the cup, in the box next to the cup, to put the PPPC and the list of very competent candidates that we have in Linden in the RDC. You will have people like Dr. Shordan Murray. You will have a whole long list of candidates who are competent, capable, and have the backing of a visionary, transformative leadership under Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali running the RDC. Make that choice on September 1. Go out early. Do not be intimidated by any traditional coercion that you normally face, that you must vote a certain way because you look a certain way. The days for that done. Vote for who you want to vote for. Vote for the people who love you. Vote for the people who are demonstrating love to you. Vote for the party that is showing care and concern and is empowering you and your family and your community. Do not vote for the people who have been neglecting you, who have power at the national level, the regional level, and the municipal level for 5 long years, but did absolutely nothing for you. Say to them very decisively that we're going to reject you because you rejected us. We will neglect you because you neglected us. We will do something for the PPP because you did nothing for us. That's what you must say to them all over Linden at every polling station on September 1 to ensure that your future is secured under the PPP Civic and Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali.
Dario, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure talking with you. We probably might have you on a little later in the week, heading up to the election, so we could have more insightful conversation like this. I know you're heading out into the greater region 10 today. Please be safe. And again, thank you for appearing on the program this morning.
Thank you, Courdel, and keep up the good works. As I started by saying, you are having quite an impact. You're doing a fantastic job, and we appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, Dario. Take care. So that's Dario there. Love talking with him. Very passionate, very well informed. I would call him a leader in Linden. That is what leadership in Linden should look like. Not like the false prophet, not like the regional chairman, not delusional, right? But with a clear idea of how to move that community and that region forward. Clear idea, right? So Dario took the time this morning to highlight to you that the transformation didn't start in 2020. The care for Lindeners didn't start in 2020. It is something that was continuous and continued to evolve over time. And the only period where Lindeners could say they didn't see much done in the area, thing ain't really happening for them, nothing going on for them, it's 2015 to 2020. All those things that Dario spoke about, Amelia's Ward, Block, and the stuff that he didn't speak about, Amelia's Ward, Block 22, they got a desalinization plan there at Amelia's Ward as well. The high schools he spoke about, any concrete high school, public school that you see in Linden, under the PPP. You understand? Block 22 regularized, as he said. All of that is pre-2015. So the development that is happening in Linden currently didn't just start in 2020. LHC, all of that is pre-2015. Right? And I do believe, as Darius said, Lindeners are not buying into the old race-baiting, black against Indian thing anymore. Lindeners want empowerment. They want to see progress in their community. He spoke about is the Nikedak Road? I can't remember the right name of the road, but the one that the asphaltic surface was put on top of that. Lindeners want, when they drive, they got dust all over the place no more. Lindeners want employment. You know, one of the reasons Dario spoke of the Venezuelans coming to get the Venezuelans with Guyanese roots coming to get those sawmill jobs. You know why some Lindeners don't want those jobs? Because they are now being trained by BIT, by Goal, by WIN. And when I say WIN, not we invest in nationhood. The Women Innovation and Empowerment Innovation. It's out of the Ministry of Social Protection, Minister Dr. Vindhya Prasad's ministry. They're being trained in all sorts of courses. So Lindeners are now empowered at a different level. So you got heavy duty equipment operators, you got mechanics coming out now. You got persons who have entrepreneurial training, so they're better able to manage their businesses so it's flourishing. Cosmetologists, all sorts of training to get in. So Lindeners now have more options for employment. They could leave Linden and go and find work someplace else. They could open their own business in Linden. You understand? A lot of them now are able to go into the mining areas with certification as operators, not just a word of mouth. Hey, I could drive the excavator. Yeah, no. They got certification now that they didn't have to pay a cent to get. Anybody can go right now and call Macor and ask them how much to do a heavy duty equipment operator's course. Ask them the costing in the private sector for you to go and learn what the government is teaching you for free, paying you a stipend and providing you with gear, PPE gear. You understand? So that there too is contributing to the shortage of jobs in certain areas because persons are upgrading themselves, upskilling themselves. So I don't believe it when I hear persons saying they can't find work and nothing going on for them. You want nothing to go on for you, right? The opportunities are abundant across the country, not just in Linden. You drive in Georgetown here today, the amount of wanted posters in the windows at stores and all over the place. Everybody hiring. Everybody is hiring. I cannot wait to see the impact of those two stadia that Dario spoke about in Linden there, especially the one there at Mackenzie. We all know the impact of CPL. Literally, people just drive from Till Region 6 to Region 4 to watch cricket. That guy ain't even playing. Amazon Warriors are not even playing in the match. And they're driving till from Barbies to town to watch cricket. You know, if they drive from Barbies to Linden, they got sleep in Linden the night. So that's a room rental at a hotel or a guest house. That's a meal for, let me say, minimum a trip like that, at least 4 people come in. The husband, the wife, that might bring the 2 children, or 4 friends. So that's minimum at least 2 rooms. 2 people could stay in a room. At minimum, 4 breakfasts the next morning. Minimum 4 dinners the night. So people benefiting all over. They got buy gas in Linden to go back to town, to go back to Borbies. You understand? The craft shops in Linden. Those people from, gosh, what's this fishing village name? Not Little Rock. Rockstone. The indigenous villages around that area. They could got tours up the Demerara. There's so many things, spin-offs from the stadium alone. And we ain't even talking about the one at the basin. The Rock Ground, I think it is. We're not even talking about that yet. Just the one at Mackenzie with the ability to host international cricket. You understand? With that ability. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. It's 9:46. We went a little over. I like to give people like Dario a chance to express themselves and get that information out to you. He can express on Linden way better than I can. My roots in Linden get severed years ago. I started in Linden, but I ended up in Georgetown. But again, was really a pleasure having him here. We probably have him on a little later in the week or next week or something like that, according to his availability. And given that it's crunch time, I just abuse on this program here, right? And I will endeavor from this day forward to bring at least one candidate on every morning so that you can hear from the people who are asking you to allow them to continue to lead, continue to transform your communities, continue to do things so that these opposition persons could walk on the new roads built, in the communities regularized, and lie to you and say to you, the government did nothing for you. When you know they're standing up on what the government do for you. And whenever they tell you that, don't talk about road, the government's supposed to build a road, that's the job. Ask them, 2050 to 2020, why they did not do their job, right? So, guys, that's it for me. And as I usually say before I go, it's all about peace. It's all about love. One.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue saki, not one rice